Hello and welcome to the channel, where today the war in Ukraine just got two massive updates that show exactly where things stand heading into 2026. Europe stepping up a huge new lifeline for Kyiv, and Vladimir Putin digging in deeper than ever with zero signs of compromise. December 19th, 2025. After marathon talks that ran into the early hours, EU leaders finally struck a deal. A €90 billion loan package to keep Ukraine's economy and military afloat through 2027. That's roughly $105 billion in fresh cash. Enough to cover budget holes, pay soldiers, buy weapons, and keep the lights on while Russia hammers energy infrastructure. Crucially, it's funded by borrowing on capital markets, not by directly seizing frozen Russian assets. A compromise that sidesteps Hungary's veto threats and Belgium's legal worries. Ukrainian leaders called it a disaster avoided, with one lawmaker saying Europe has now completely taken over financing for the second year in a row after U.S. aid paused under Trump. The package is a lifeline, but it's also a message Europe isn't backing down. Meanwhile, in Moscow, Putin held his annual end-of-year marathon press conference. 4.5 hours of vintage Putin, confident, combative, and completely uncompromising on Ukraine. He insisted Russia is ready and willing for peace, but only on Moscow's terms. Full Ukrainian withdrawal from Donetsk and Luhansk, no NATO membership, recognition of Crimea as Russian. He claimed battlefield momentum, advances in Donbass, pressure on Pokrovsk, and dismissed Western peace efforts as insincere. On the EU loan, robbery, if they ever touch frozen assets. On Trump's Alaska summit, Russia already compromised. Now the ball's in the West court. On elections in Ukraine, he'd even consider a brief strike pause to let Kyiv vote, a cynical jab at Zelensky's legitimacy under martial law. Putin's tone was classic, calm, almost warm, sprinkling personal anecdotes. "I'm in love," he joked at one point, while flashing sarcasm at critical questions that briefly appeared on screen. "This isn't a direct line, it's a circus," one read. But the core message was ice cold. Russia will fight until it gets everything it wants. No retreat. No real concessions. The war continues. Behind the scenes, movement is happening. Russia's top economic envoy Kirill Dmitriev is reportedly heading to Miami for a briefing on this week's Berlin talks between U.S., Ukrainian, and European teams. A sign Moscow is watching Trump's deal-making closely. Ukraine, meanwhile, claimed its first strike on Russia's shadow fleet in the Mediterranean, hitting a tanker with drones. Part of Kyiv's push to disrupt Putin's sanction-busting oil revenue. So where does this leave us? Europe united for now, behind Ukraine with serious money, but wary of escalation. Putin projecting strength at home while bleeding resources abroad. Trump's team talking peace but inheriting a war with no easy off-ramp. And Ukraine, exhausted, outgunned, but still standing, banking on Western resolve to outlast Russian aggression. 2026 could be the year this war ends, or the year it grinds deeper. The EU just bought Kyiv time. Putin just showed he's spending it preparing for more fighting. Drop your prediction below. Ceasefire by summer or stalemate into 2027. Smash like if Europe's move gives you hope. Subscribe, because every week brings a new twist in this war. See you soon. Stay informed. Stay strong. Slava Ukraini.